get to that, Mr. Chair. Want to get on with questions about the Chinese troops that were training in Canada back in February of 2018. So troops from the People's Liberation Army took part in winter warfare training exercises at CFB Petawawa. How many Chinese troops were present for that exercise?
Mr. Chair, we want to make it very clear when it came to our relationships with China and how our military relationship works. We work very closely with our allies and how relationships are done. And in fact, the only formal relationship that we actually had with the Chinese military was actually an agreement that was signed by Minister Rob Nicholson at that time. And then since we have gone, because the situation, Mr. Chair, I'm trying to answer the question, because the situation has changed, as allies, we have made assessments. And actually beforehand, their participation in RIMPAC was not allowed. And then once,
Mr. Chair,
if you allow me to answer the question,
I'd just like to get to the questions here.
Mr. Chair, I'm trying to.
Well, the reality is, Minister, is that there was no Chinese troops ever trained in Canada when the Conservatives were in government. This was a new addition to the agreement that was made by the Trudeau government. So again, how many troops were present during that exercise in February of 2018? That's the question. Can you please answer that?
I'm trying to, Mr. Chair, if the member would allow me to answer the question. After our two Michaels were arrested, very clear direction was given that we were not to continue with any type of military involvement, even though we had Minister Nicholson had signed that. And then I can provide greater detail of any involvement and future involvement by Major General Kedu, if you like.
How many troops and what were their ranks that were from the PLA?
General Kedu, can you answer that question?
Mr. Chair, for the exercise that Mr. Bazan is referring to in February 2018, there were 5 members of the PLA that were present as observers. They ranged in ranks from the lowest rank was a sergeant, the highest rank was a major general, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We know from documents accidentally released by Global Affairs Canada that the decision by the CDS to cancel the winter training exercise with the Chinese troops only happened after our Five Eye partners warned us there could be a dangerous sharing of military information and sensitive doctrine if it went ahead a second time in 2019. So, Minister, were you prepared to go ahead with this exercise up to that point because Global Affairs Canada and the Minister of Foreign Affairs told you to, or did you allow the military itself to actually make the decision to cancel it?
No, Mr. Chair, as I stated in my earlier testimony, were arrested. I gave direction that we were not to have any further involvement when it comes to the training. And that's exactly what we have done. The training that was there was actually a direct result of the decision and the agreement that was made under Minister Rob Nicholson under the members' government. So when the member says that under their time when they were in government, it wasn't that they had no involvement, this was us reversing that decision. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Thank you, Mr. Bazan.